Hello everyone, I'm Dinары Касько, modern pastry architect and mold designer. Welcome to my class. Today I will prepare the heart cake. My idea of this cake is to show how contradictory the heart can be. It's reflected in the taste of this cake, where I combine opposite to each other flavors, the bitterness of grapefruit and the sweetness of marshmallow. The shape is contradictory too. From outside it looks sharp and hard, but inside it's soft, airy and melting. The heart cake is very expressive. I succeeded to make the shape itself the decoration of the pastry. Its artistic value lies in its minimalism. I was pleased to see across the globe so many of your versions to decorate this cake, and I was impressed by your creativity. Today I'm going to make with you my initial version of this cake in red. The preparation of the cake, I will start with grapefruit mousse. This mousse is very similar to Italian meringue and marshmallow. To succeed whipping my meringue, I will do amount for 2 portions. We start with syrup. We take 60 grams of grapefruit juice or grapefruit puree, sugar, invert sugar, and lime juice. I have to heat the syrup till 117 degrees. I use invert sugar to make softer texture. You can substitute it with sugar. When our syrup is approximately 110 degrees, we start whisking egg whites. Egg whites can be room temperature or from fridge, it doesn't matter. At the same time, I continue making syrup. So I check the temperature and I constantly stir it. So the syrup forms. It's 117, it's ready. And now we need to pour it into our meringue. Little by little. I need to melt gelatin. Once gelatin is melted, I pour it on the egg whites. I whisk it until it's room temperature. I use microplane to grain dust. It allows me to get only upper part of the skin without touching white bitter part. And now we have to mix all the ingredients. For one cake, I took just half of our marshmallow grapefruit mousse. I put film into the mold because the mousse is very sticky and soft, and even after freezer it will not be completely frozen. This film will help me to take out cake from the mold easier. I put the mousse inside. It needs to be evenly spread. Also, I heated again the table to help it spread. You can prepare second cake layer and keep it in freezer until you need it. Now I will put it to freezer for 1 hour. Now I will do grapefruit confit. For this recipe, I will mix sugar with pectin and age. All other ingredients I will put to a saucepan. You can substitute limoncello liqueur with grapefruit juice. Invert sugar in confit recipes will help you to keep moisture inside the texture, but if you don't have it, you can substitute just with regular sugar. We will heat ingredients till 40 degrees, and after we will add sugar with pectin and age. For this recipe I use grapefruit pulp, but pulp without white skin. It reaches 40 degrees and I add dry ingredients, sugar and pectin and age. I mix very well. On medium heat, I brought it to a boil and set it aside to cool down. I chill it down to room temperature and will apply it on the grapefruit mousse. To get stable texture, I will add gelatin to our grapefruit. Once my gelatin is melted, I chill down grapefruit confit. And once it is room temperature, I will apply the thin layer on the top of grapefruit mousse. My confit is about 30 degrees and I will pour it on the top of marshmallow grapefruit mousse. Now I will put these 2 layers, grapefruit mousse and grapefruit confit, into the freezer for at least 2 hours until it's completely frozen. My insert part is frozen. I will take it out from the mold. I take off the film. Don't forget to put the film between the mold and your grapefruit mousse. You can see, even after freezer, confit is very frozen, it's strong, but the mousse is very soft and sticky. Now I need to cut the layers a bit. Because it will not fit to the mold. You can taste the layer. But be careful, it's very frozen. We put this layer again to blast freezer until assembling. To add an interesting grapefruit accent to my sponge, I use candied grapefruit. And now I will show you how I make it. I remove thin layer of grapefruit skin with a sharp knife, one by one. This grapefruit I will use to make a juice for my next recipes. I cut the skin into stripes without fingers, please. It's not tasty and not convenient, so be careful, okay? I do the same with 2 other grapefruits. I put stripes of grapefruit into the boiling water and bring it to a boil. I drain it with a sieve, pour water to the saucepan again and make the same procedure twice. It is very important to repeat this procedure a few times to remove the strong bitterness of grapefruit zest. I put inside the saucepan grapefruit stripes, add the water, adding first portion of sugar, then heat to a boil and cook it during 15 minutes at a low heat. To avoid strong evaporation, with a parchment paper, and there is a hole in the middle. After 15 minutes, I add the second portion of sugar, cover it again with parchment paper, and cook it 15 minutes more. And then I repeat this procedure twice to incorporate all the sugar inside my water with grapefruit. Each time I add the sugar, I cook it during 15 minutes. The total cooking time takes me 1 hour. My candied grapefruit is ready. I drain it. I leave them to dry during 2-3 hours outside, and then I put them to hermetic box and keep them in fridge until I need them. In general, I can store them during 2-3 weeks. Now I'm going to make a sponge. For this recipe, I chose Japanese sponge because it's very airy and tender, and I really like to work with this special sponge. I pour milk into this saucepan and add here butter. And we need to bring this mass to a boil. In fact, this is choux dough with additional meringue. I put the flour to the mixer bowl. And now I am pouring hot liquids. I mix egg yolks and eggs together and pour it into the butter. Little by little, don't be in a hurry. First part. Then wait 1-2 minutes until it's homogeneous, and then we will continue. If you have some stock butter at the bottom, you have to scrape it with a spatula. second part of egg yolks mixture. Scrape again if needed. While our mixture is mixing, I will do meringue. I will whip egg whites with sugar. First, I put egg whites into the bowl and start whisking. When I have white foam, I will add sugar and continue whisking till I have soft peaks. Meringue is ready. It's soft enough. It's very shiny. And our egg yolks mass looks like this. So it's liquid. Now we need to mix all together and add candied grapefruit pieces. I pour my egg yolks mass to meringue. I pour the butter into the mat. I like the appearance of this butter because it looks like a mousse. I am adding grapefruit candied pieces onto the surface of my butter. I put my sponge into the oven at 170 degrees for 15 minutes. My sponge is ready. I have to chill it down to the room temperature. My sponge cake is room temperature now, and I'm going to take off the mat. I cover it with parchment paper, grab one more tray, cover it, then turn it upside down and take it off the mat. I have a stencil and now I'm going to cut out the shape of the heart for my cake. This sponge is enough for 2 heart cakes. My sponge right now very soft and tender. To make assembling easier, I put it to freezer. Now I will prepare chocolate mousse for our grapefruit cake. I will heat grapefruit juice in the microwave till almost boiling. I will add to white chocolate, gelatin mass and limoncello. You can substitute limoncello liqueur with grapefruit juice. The juice is hot enough. It's very hot. Here I have all the ingredients except cream for whipping. And I make good emulsion with hand blender. When you blend it with a blender, try to avoid making bubbles. We need to cool it down till 30 degrees approximately, and then we will mix it with whipped cream. I will whip the cream till soft peaks. The cream should be cold from fridge. Temperature is approximately +4 degrees. We always use cold cream for whipping. My chocolate emulsion is around 30 degrees and I am adding it into whipped cream. Mix well, but try to keep this airy. Now everything is ready for assembling. We have frozen mousse with confit, cold sponge cake, and our liquid mousse. I put the mousse into the mold. I spread the mousse. Be sure that I have mousse everywhere to avoid air pockets. I put inside my frozen filling and press a bit. Spread the mousse. I put frozen sponge into the mold. Gently press it. When I have extra mousse, I scrape it with a spatula to make even edges. My cake is assembled. I put it to freezer for at least 4 hours, but better overnight. If you have blast freezer, it takes you around 2 hours to freeze it totally. Add chocolate to melted cocoa butter. Heat the mixture up to 40 degrees. Next, mix them inside the cup. Add red liposoluble powder colorant into the mixture and mix it with the blender. The amount of the colorant depends on the depth of color of the brand you use. The ready chocolate spray for velour should be around 40 degrees Celsius. Let the chocolate mixture leftovers to crystallize and take them out of the cup. Cover with the film and keep it at room temperature, just a regular chocolate. The cake has to be totally frozen while unmolding. Do it very quickly to avoid melting. Even out the cake's edges with a knife. Now it's ready for spraying. Prepare a spraying gun, fill it with the spraying mixture, check the pressure. Spray the well-frozen cake. Here it is, our heart cake. Let's enjoy watching. The facets make this heart look like a big diamond. The dramatic red attract and make the cake the center of event for which it was dedicated. Let's discover how the heart looks inside. If you want to taste the cake immediately after coating, it should be left in the fridge for at least 5 hours to defrost, and only then you can cut it. The cut looks expressive. The pink light of grapefruit confit creates pleasure to assemble with sponge and 2 airy mousses. The cake is unusual by these two mousses in composition, one with whipped cream and another with whipped whites. Despite similar color, we can easily identify their different textures. Now I want to taste the cake. I want a bit more. The mildness of cream is very well combined with the bitterness and freshness of grapefruit. This grapefruit aftertaste makes this cake very special. I created this recipe to my own taste and especially for this mold. Make this cake and discover how fresh and impressive the grapefruit may sound in mousse cakes. I really like this recipe combination.